Tuesday morning, just feeding the calves up on the spring unit. All is going relatively well. We've established a few little things what we got going on with this season. Every year you have something different happen. This year we've established that the milking cows are taking a little bit longer to get into the, like, just get into it, and their milk coming into like good quality milk. So we're holding everything back. Probably an extra 3 days on every cow. 1 or 2 are all right, can go normal time, but most of them are holding back longer. So we are throwing away a lot of milk. In with the calves at the moment. I've got one here with a shitty ass and he's shaking. So he's acting a little bit weird. So he needs to be isolated from all these calves and he needs to be bagged with water because he's shitty. All the rest of his pen are all right. So it's clear that he has something going on with him. Looking at all the rest, they're looking pretty good. It's pretty dark in here. But, well, dark for the camera, but they are all... So far so good. We're having a good run with the calves. We just need to keep a close eye on them because this shed is building up more and more with calves, and the weather outside is foggy and horrible, so there's no air circulating in there. What we could do with like our system of all our calves everywhere is a little bit of breeze all the time. When you don't get breeze, you get germ spread. So keeping a close eye on them, doing our routine stuff, but touch wood, all's going well, calving's going well. We're in the first week of calving, so we've got due date calves coming out. It'll be next week when we have a few late ones. We might have a few hard pulls and whatnot. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the year goes. Some years we have like 1 or 2 pulls. Other years you seem to be pulling every single one. But we'll see what happens. I think we might have to actually pull a few because these calves are coming out quite chunky, some of them, and they're not, you know, they're early or on time. So we'll see what the late ones do. Loading up on CMT liquid at the moment. Just bought 5 bottles of this stuff. Bloody spot on it is. Really bright coloured stuff, so it picks up straight away. I'll go down through the whole herd if whatever other cell can't come through. It's when you get an established number. Say you get like over 100 in milk and all going well, and then you have one jump up. Like a lot of these crossbred cows are subclinical. It's subclinical mastitis. Very often, not very often do we get a cow with actual clots. It's subclinical, so you've got to use that quite often. Still hauling calves down every day. This is our first proper Jersey looking calf. Put her in the sunlight. Sunlight in the light. There we go. Yeah, that's our first actual Jersey coloured calf come out. She's alright, but we are trying to avoid that colour a bit. I want more like this. There's another one. That's what we're looking for. Smart calf eyes. It'd be a good grazing animal, that one. Big teat feeders too, we're getting ready today too. We've got the 20 there, a circular one, and we've got a 15 long one. We'll go from 5, we've got 2 5s on the go at the moment, but we're starting to outstretch that. So we're going to keep them for learner calves, the 2 5s, and probably go down to 1 5, because it's like 5's enough each time to learn. So keep that for the learners, and then the big ones, the ones what are firstborn, go on the 20 and the 15, and then from then on, when they go out the field, they go on the bigger, the 50 teat feeder. But we've got 2 50 teat feeders, so sometimes if all's gone well, we'll have 100, one behind the other on a trail. So 2 50s tucked behind one behind the Polaris. But quite often it's 2 fields of 50. But then also we have a 50 in the shed if we got to, because we are building up on calves fast this year. So because we've got a lot of bull calves, can't sell no bull calves to at least 8 weeks old, and also we're shut down with TB, so that's that much harder. So if we have good weather, because we have got a fair bit of ground for this organic, and we've got a lot of like ground what you don't really want to get the mower on and whatnot, we could, if grass growth is good, we could get those bull calves out on the vat. So we might do that, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the year goes. Got my dogs with me today. Right, Max, move over. Good boy. How's Bilbo? He's happy. So I've got the electricians in, and these 2 are rescue dogs, and they're little biters they are. Well, they're alright, but sometimes they bite you on the leg. So I can't trust them in there on their own, so they're going to ride about at me in the truck. First job after breakfast, just check the blend bins. Still on the same blend as usual. I've got to keep an eye on the bends, because I'm not doing no feeding. I ain't done no feeding for ages actually. So just make sure we are actually using the right amount. He's 3/4 empty. He's full. All I see is the bill. But that's looking alright. Muck heap there, that's where the calves were. So we've moved the calves up near the buildings. That's our muck heap where we've been hauling muck up from down dry cows because he's full up. October maize silage we're hacking into. Not a lot of good. Cows seem to eat it though, but it's a bit dark. Look at the milk going though. The milk, cows are milking alright on it. Not like we're feeding it all, we're mixing it in with stuff just to get through it because there is a little, that's a fair bit. It's going to be 2 weeks at the most, I expect. It'd be good to get it fed anyway, get back the stuff behind because that's alright, that stuff, that's good stuff. Check the cake silo. We fill him out every 2 weeks. He's 3/4 full. Cow's not getting much in the parlour at all at the moment. 3 kilos, the highest ones, and the lowest get 1, and some get none, the ones near a draft, because we're feeding 7 kilos down the barrier, was quite a lot, and we've got the cows in one herd. This is an all year round cabin, by the way. So we've got the cows in one big group. We feed 7 down the barrier, so it's pretty much flat rate feeding. The highest get 3 in the parlour, and then it goes down to 0, so there's a lot getting 1 or half a kilo. So flat rate feeding is working well this year. All the cows are milking well. The only problem we have got is the dry cows are still giving a fair bit of milk going in the draft, but it doesn't seem to be a problem at the moment. If we were getting swollen quarters and mastitis in the dry cows, then it would be a bit more of an issue. Flat rate feeding doesn't always work though. So we tried it this year. We have tried it before and it hasn't worked. We've just fed the cows a lot of blend and they've got fat and not give much more milk, but they are milking relatively well. And the best thing about it all is these are 5% fat, 4% protein, what is exceptional considering they're giving about 24, 25 and a half litres a cow at the highest, but I think we've dipped just under that now. We're back down to about 24 and a half. So this is going really well down here, but we are like our purchase feed could be a little bit lower, but I'm not too worried about it because it is, you know, if we're on a lot lower milk price, then you know you'd sort of tweak it a little bit more, maybe 2 groups, but then when you have them in groups, especially with us, what we've had before, highs and lows, it does take a little bit for them to adjust, so we could lose a little bit of milk there. Notice your bit of cud ball here, nothing major. We have had it before when there's loads out in front. So one like that is a cow what was calved about 3 months ago, I think, 1869. So we want to keep an eye on that, but that is probably that October silage what we're giving them. So it's a bit acidy. But looking down the barrier, Toby's put a bit of hay in, because Toby does all the feeding. He's completely in charge of it. He decides how much they get each day, you know, up it or lower it, depending on what they eat, and he's doing a good job, a real good job, because we haven't wasted nothing on a tight year. So the way it's going, he's got it sorted. I just decide how much they actually get blend wise. So nah, it's gone really well. Really happy with how it's going, this herd this year, extremely well. Right, I'm going to go back up on the spring unit now because I've got to lift the cow because the cow had a hard calf, and I think he's going to be alright, and he might actually be up, but we'll just shoot up there and have a look to make sure he's alright. We had 7 in the night and we've probably got 1 more calf now. So happy days. Just down dry cows. Nothing calved, all looking good. Weather is shite for these animals today. It's misty, horrible weather. Want breeze, that's what you want. Want breeze everywhere. Young stock, bulling heifers and whatnot. 10 steers in here, going to market on the 20th, orange market. So that would be all males removed from the farm, apart from the bulls what we got, what going with cows. Beef bulls, like serving bulls. Nothing else, so that's good. So we're going to go in the spring with just all heifers, and then we can rear bull calves or whatnot, depending on what sort of grass we got out in the field. We'll see what the year's like, but for now we want as much cutting ground as possible, so not too much grazing ground, because we want to get the clamps full up first to you know, make our lives a bit easier, ready for next year. That calf I said about this morning, it's now after breakfast. I've got to do it again with some of this life aid. You've got to have 8 litres of water a day in 1 or 2 litres of milk, no more, because the milk to feed a germ, but they need the milk to keep the energy. So now I just got to load her up with water. I got this calf here dehydrated. Now I can tell because all these calves with her are nice and clean, fit as a fiddle. This calf is slow and she's shitty round the ass. Shitty round the ass only means one thing: they got dehydration and they need water. And the same as this one here, because this one was slow drinking this morning and she was sat down when all the rest are up playing about, and they've got nice clean asses, but this one hasn't. So what I reckon happened, like I said earlier, is she probably has some dodgy cholesterol or something, because she hasn't got that like immune system like the rest. Waste of time injecting them. It's all to do with in her stomach. It's a dehydration in her stomach, what he's done. That helps them out, see? We've got to add liquid into them, fluid, water, the dehydrates. That one there, these shitty ass, we've just got 2 at the moment. Keep the water fresh, and it will reduce cases straight away. That one should perk up now, because he stood up on his own accord. When they don't stand up, that's when you've got to worry. You probably won't save them. Got some cows calved in now. We're getting up near the 100 mark, so that's a milestone for us. So that means we're further the way through, and we've just gone due date. Cows are loving it in the sun this afternoon. Milk and pyro's gone well too. We've got a lot of cows what been calved in 1 week, and we're starting to put them in the tank now. Some got to wait a bit longer, like this one's been over a week, still high cell count. But there's others like this one, gone in, this one gone in, this one, this one, this one. We've got quite a few. This one, a heifer, all going in the tank today. So we're going to start sending some milk on. This side's been milked. Some here, see 2 tail tapes on what we've got to keep an eye on. Heifer there is all alright, but we're moving the right way. The weather has helped us out a little bit, I reckon, but we are due some wet weather, I think, tomorrow night onwards, so we'll see how we get on. But it's definitely gone well. The less dump buckets is easier too, because we're holding all the milk back on dump buckets. So some years we've got to put them in the 2 groups and bring the whole back ones in at the end and pull the pipe out of the tank, but this year we're running on dump buckets for now. Just in with the calves. In that calf I bagged this morning, there, that one with the shitty ass, he has stood up looking for food. Like, he's not as strong as these, but that's a good sign he's up. And also this one. So all these are dancing about really, really fit, but at least he is up. Because when you get them sat down and they don't want to stand out, you're in a different ball game. You really are. So we're there early on this one. This one has had about 6 litres of water today, and look at that. Look at that. Back on it. So it was early days, so you've got to get there really early. Everything else, see, shitty ass, everything else is spotlessly clean. Look at those over there. Look at these. That's what I'm looking for. If you've got a shitty ass and you've got an ill calf, so healthy asses, that's what you want. Wagging tails when they're feeding too. I'm going to feed day and I'll show you with a tails wagging, I'll show you a healthy calf. Right, just feeding him. Notice he's not out of the woods yet because he's slower than the others. So he's stopping. Probably because he's had a lot of water. And now look at these other calves, the fit ones. See, look at that. Wagging their tails. Wagging their tails. Not wagging, keeping an eye on those. But not shitty round the bum. This one here, yeah. Not out of the woods, but a lot better. Keep an eye on them. All these, see. All fit and happy, see that? That's what you want. Just got to be really, really vigilant. Just looking at them all the time and never be like, oh, we'll see what he's like this afternoon, because, you know, they're only going to go downhill. When you've got ill calf, he's never going to get better on his own. It's a real one-off if they do. They're only going to go downhill. So you want to be there straight away. Just like on it. And you've got to keep discipline out. You've got to be on it all the time. Like I said, I keep saying it because you need to know. Fresh water again. Done this fresh morning, and you can see, look, it's looking a bit dirty. Tip that out, put a new lot in, because they do drink it. You drink it a lot. And we're going to put nuts in here for long, so we're going to have a few nuts. Calf over there just went and drank some water. What's been fed milk already. It just helps you out a lot doing stuff like that. Clean bedding, no bogginess. So if this shed got boggy now in the bottom, I'd get load all the calves up in the box, take a long time, but you have to clean the whole shed out. We got stone underneath this, but stone or concrete, it doesn't matter because stone goes down like concrete in the end anyway. So what have you got as a base? Don't blame your tools, blame what you're doing. If you've got ill calves and you're like, oh, it's because they're on concrete and all that rubbish, don't blame your tools, blame yourself. It's you not keeping the discipline up. Got to really keep on top of it all the time. There you go, look at that. He's only about 3 days old and he's drinking water. Right, that's the last few on. It's the learner ones. Today's learner ones. Right mixed bag today. Bit of all sorts there. Yesterday's. Drinking alright. Want some? That's it, my boy or girl. Only got 8 bull calves in total so far, so it's going well. That's what we want, because we want the heifers first. So at least 70% of the sex semen so far is come out, because we're there's about 80 calves in here in only 8 bull calves, so that's 72 heifers so far. So we're on a good run. So the sex semen done well last year. First group of calves, what we've got in a big pen here. So what we've been starting off, like, we've been doing them all on the 5 pens, and then we've built up too many now, so we've got about 85 to 90 calves, I think. Well, I think it's 95 now, actually, were the ones what's being born a day. So we're starting to move the big strong ones in the bigger pens, and we've got these circular feeders, and we've got a long straight 15 feet too. Just get them in bigger pens, and then we like put cow cake in the middle, hay and all that stuff, get them going. So it's all moving on, and then the next step we do when we get some decent weather is what we'll push out like 50, a group of 50 or 45 out on the trail, 50 teat feeders. But we'll have to wait for it to get a little bit better yet. Like, it's still a bit, like today, see, it's been nice and sunny, and now it's come over wet and it's still quite cold, so you don't really, it is a little pushing it a little bit, especially considering it's like middle of February to get calves out. But no, it's moving on well. We are building up fast actually this year. Last year was a bit slower going, but March was a lot busier. This year I think we can have a busy February, then a slower March. What we want really. Also 4 o'clock this morning, we had a bit of a breakdown. Like, managed to get up on the go. It's always 4 o'clock in the morning on these dairy farms. Up here, this spout here, that bolt there come out and we lost the bolt, and then a ram just shot up and that head went down, so we couldn't straw it down properly. So what I had to do is put a stick in there, tie a bit of string to a real bodge job just to blast the straw out. Got the job done. You just got to think on your feet in that job. But no, he's all up and running again now. We're going to take a bit more muck out once this rain clears, because we're filling up on that deep litter muck, that is, because we're always filling out a deep litter sheds and cleaning them out every 2 weeks. So deep litter is like a big part of this farm. Really could do a lot of it on a grass based system, like liquid slurry is the best really for grass because it's just straight in, but this deep litter muck has got to go somewhere, so we're going to put it on some fields, what we're going to put down spring barley soon. So that's up and ready to go. We've got the cows in today because it's wet, nothing's gone out, so we're going to probably be in for a couple of days now because we had a lot more rain than they said. So we'll carry on, see how it goes. Next week's looking a bit better, so hopefully we get a bit more sun. Right, we've got an extra shed for the milking cows now because they're staying in. So this is an extra shed what was dry cows. The milking cows are now on self-feed silage, what's a little bit easier. So, but then it gets a bit harder with dry cows, what are here, because they've only got these 2 big sheds. So we've got about 195 I think, or 198, Tim knows the true amount, but it's around about that. We're just over 100, I think it's 110, 115 calved in. So we're moving the right way. It's going to slow up, I reckon. Just having a look around. I've got this vibe that we've gone up quite quick, and we should hit a quiet patch. We always do. We don't like hitting quiet patches, we like getting whacked through, but we will hit one at some point. I can imagine something happens in the calving period anyway. So yeah, we're going to stay in the night. We've got self-feed storage, so we're going to track on day and night for a couple of days just to let it dry out around the gateways. Right, we're just taking out some muck today. Charlie's on tractor and dump trailer. What we're doing is we're hauling that muck there up to the next farm up, because this is loaded, and then we've got a big concrete paddock there where those calves went. There's Charlie there driving off. Just gonna have to do quite a few load though, because this is coming out in front and we don't want that. We want to get right back into it, so we push the muck in there. And he's gonna haul it on at the farm. And that'll give us some free space then, because it's too wet out in the fields on this farm. Like on the organic canal, we just dump it out in fields and heat ready for like spring crops planter. But we got our down on this farm, put on a concrete pad, and then when we do get the good weather, like dry weather, we go out straight away with the muck spreaders and spread it straight in the field. This is where the calves used to be before we moved them, and it's now our concrete pad for putting them up. Every 4 load they push it out nice and steep, bank it right up. One good thing about hauling mucksy is like you're turning it as you're shifting it, so it does roll down a bit more. That. There we go. Yeah, do a few there. Turn it a bit and then it'll go out in the field and then we'll plough that in.